Hey, good evening, family. Welcome to the Underrated Boxing Talk. I'm gonna read about the late great Joe Gans, one of the best kept secrets boxers ever. We'll read about him and quickly. Then we gonna chat about it. So watch out for that. We're gonna wait for some people to come through. Um Santee, my brother. I see the link. Watch out for it. Check on family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll read about the late great Joe Gans. Read about him. I'm back, family. I'm back. I'm back. Haven't gone nowhere. There he is, the brother. How you
Okay,
feel?
I'm on. What's up, bro?
I'm good, brother. How you feel?
I'm all right, man. I'm a little bit in a tight space, but I told you I'd come through, so I would. I'm like kind of like I got 20 minutes or something like that before I
Okay.
got to go on and do my show. So I'll stay around for about 10 at least. That way I can,
Okay.
like how you got to prep all your stuff and things like that to get ready. But
Okay.
how's everything going?
Everything going. We go. We go. Matter of fact, before I read it, I know you got 10 minutes. I will read it. It's when people come in. I'm gonna bring up Joe Gans. Um, so the people can hear me when I'm talking. I'm just gonna I'm gonna read it, family. I'm gonna read it. But my man, he gonna do his show in 10 minutes. So I'm just gonna proofread it. Joe Gans was born November 25th, 1874. He passed away 1910. He was, of course, a professional boxer. He was rated one of the he was rated the greatest lightweight boxer of all time. His nickname was the Old Master. Became the first African American world boxing champion of the 20th century. Reigned continuously as world lightweight champion from 1902 from 1908. I'm just proofreading it now. That's what I'm doing. He was inducted into International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1990. His record was total fights 196 wins, 158 wins, 12 losses, 20 draws, six no contests, knockout 100. Um, so also Joe Gans, he has a they put him in a Masquerade Garden, a bronze. He had a bronze in Masquerade Garden of him. They traditionally rub the status outstretch the left fist for good luck before matches. Okay. I'm just proofreading it and everything. Um and also he fought in trying times when all the racism was going on. And then he pushed through. Let me see. Reigning as champion. Okay. The Hemingway connection. Ernest Hemingway utilized Joe Gans as a character of his 1960 short film Matter of Color. This early story set the stage of Hemingway's famous 1927 parable, The Killers. Also, here this fighter, he was the inspiration of a film of Ernest Hemingway. Um, so he passed away in 1910 in Baltimore, Maryland. He frequently fight heavier fighters. All right, to improve his fight technique. That's why they call him. That's what they knew. They call him the true student. That's what they call him, the old master, because he picked things up real quick. Um, he beat a lot of He beat quite a few champions. Yeah, he beat a lot. He beat quite a few champions, especially international champions. He beat Canadian-born Eddie Cully. He was a Canadian champion. And plus he beat you see Georgia won the bantamweight title. No, that's not it. So here this man he hold the title for a long time, almost 9 years. Okay, this is a fighter that against the odds he had fought. And back then they fought every week, almost 20, 30 times a week. That's why they have these type of records. He died of the age of 35. He was young. His stance was orthodox. Height was 5'6", 6.5 inches. Reach was 71. That was long. He had very long reach. His real name is Joseph Gans. Like I said, nickname Old Master. Weight class, it was for the lightweight, and he fought world lightweight champion from 1902 to 1908. So this is a fighter that they know how to talk about. This is one of my heroes, brother. So you can go ahead and put your thing on it.
What we know from at least back in those times, a lot of criticism came towards the black fighters that would celebrate. So, celebrating wasn't appropriate anyway because black kids would be hung for celebrating a black fighter beating a white fighter, what have you. And then you had a lot of cases and circumstances where you dealt with these boxers and the white fighters did not have to fight the black fighters, which still happens here year to date. They just mask it in a different way. Jack Johnson was part to blame somewhat, because he was gambling and sleeping with white women and driving nice cars. He had a gold tooth. He would talk shit, everything, and he would celebrate after his victories hard. He would rub it in white folks' faces. Okay, that's why when he lost his title, they did everything they could do up underneath of the sun to make sure that he didn't get it back, and he wasn't able to come back to the U.S. But that affected a lot of the other fighters. Joe Louis, in order to get opportunities back in the day, he had to give a piece of himself in order to get some of these opportunities. Some of the white fighters would not fight him unless they were guaranteed a portion of the rest of his purses for the rest of his boxing career, which is insane. When have you ever heard that? I won't fight you unless I can get a portion of the money that you make for the rest of your boxing career? Ain't that some bullshit?
Yeah, that's some,
Okay.
right. Mm-hmm.
So, to kind of add a little bit extra on, man, of course, this brother you're talking about dealt with some racism back in the day, and I don't know too much of his history, and I don't want to act like that, but I do know uh, from a wide scale of what a good deal of these black fighters had to go through during that time and era. And despite how much joy you felt, you had to personally hold it in. There was no reacting in front of the people and doing this and that. And even with just whooping some white ass back then, black folks would still be attacked and hung and uh, put through certain situations. You know?
Yes.
So, I simply say this. Looking at the grand scheme of things and everything this man was able to accomplish, I'm proud of him, and he deserves to get the fullest and utmost respect as far as for some of the tremendous things that he was able to get off, because he did it at a time that success and winning and being in a great situation as a black fighter or black athlete participating, in a sport, which was predominantly white dominated, unless you were fighting other black fighters, other black murderers folk.
Right.
So the way I look at this man is, he didn't get I believe he didn't get the type of love and praise that he was supposed to get like these other fighters, because his story is like so many others of black fighters growing up in a time of segregation and racism and what have you, and the backlash, the standard of what happens in that process.
Yeah, that's true. And then the brother was talking about when Joe Louis Gavin his purse took it. When Joe Louis first fought in the late 1930s, he fought against I forgot his nickname was the Cinderella Man. If y'all remember the Cinderella Man, they did not have the part when he fought Joe Louis. And the only way Joe Louis was getting the title shot, he had to fight him. So I believe he did each time that he fought for the championship or whatever, I believe took like about 30% or 50%, something like that. But they took a lot out. And that's what my brother Santi he was talking about. But he was not the first fighter that actually happened, because it actually happened for others too. Because y'all have to understand too, the black fighters back then, they wasn't hardly making no money. And then on the promotion what they had them, they was racist. So they was like taking wherever it was like it's like 30,000. They take it like maybe 20 or maybe more than that. And it makes the black fight, they only have nothing but pennies, just barely enough to feed a family. They don't even have enough to really travel. That's why like these fighters the boxers back then, they had to fight a whole lot just to make ends meet. But at the same time, what I respect of Joe Gans, he was a fight. He was a champion, and he fought of impossible times back then. Like my brother Santee too was talking about. We was getting hanged, the black man and the black woman, even children back then. And at that time, the dollar was to our community was practically nothing. So that's why I do the story about Joe Gans, not the great fight, also especially the great fighter he become to be. But I want y'all to understand the time that he fought in, and then he was a world champion for all those years from 1902 to 1908, and we have to respect that. And also, what injustices is. Like he passed away in 1910. He was only 35. They finally inducted him a Boxing Hall of Fame of 1990. That is another injustices. That's what happened. And just like my brother was saying, I fully alignment with this. And then it still happens today, but it's very subtly, and we have to talk about that. We have to talk about it more because it's happening. And so I know, brother, you can say your last remarks because I know you got to get ready to do your show, and I appreciate you came on to participate in this. Very much appreciated. So so let's. This is one of my fighters. This is one of my best fighters. You know, I learned from him when I was a when I think I was 13. And
Brother.
yes, yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna probably stay about 2 more minutes or so. I probably have 5 minutes to set up. I might be a little bit late for my show, but go ahead. I go ahead and get to the
Yeah,
next point. We
yeah,
go ahead and talk
no,
about
I'm gonna finish up anyway before you get on. It's just like that. We just gotta understand the times, and we have to understand it's still going on today. Is that nothing has not changed? The black fighters still get ripped off. They still don't get the credit we deserve, and so we have to constantly talk about this. And I know a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but it's happening today. Only different thing is blatant. Like back then, it's blatant, but they just do it in different ways. Now they really doing it economics, and they really doing it of certain trainers too. And then you got a lot more racist um sports writers of boxing, and you got commentators, and you got actually hear how racist they are. Case in point, HBO. So we have to understand, we have to keep on fighting. And that's what it's all about. You can go ahead, brother. For you.
Yeah, no doubt, man. First and foremost, man, it's always a blessing, and I appreciate being on your platform. I'm sorry I didn't have too much time tonight. I usually, my folks come in at the same time. I usually only do one show a day during the week. Sometimes I may do two or so, but my show is always at 11 Eastern Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But to add to what you're saying is, you're 1,000% correct. We've seen it. In the Golovkin situation where he was able to receive, to be on the top 20s list or whatever, the last 20 years of the best fighters. He was able to be on that list without doing anything significant to earn credentials to get on that list. We've watched the certain levels of recognition that Vasil Lomachenko was able to get with 9 and 8 fights, and he's the greatest fighter in the world, and we've never seen footwork like this before, and what have you. We can just keep going on. Sergey Kovalev, he murders people in the ring, and he's this and that, and he had his ass whooped by Darnell Boone, which has been, they scraped the internet of the ass whooping. But my point is simply this: black fighters have consistently struggled for credit and recognition. But another true point is that I don't want to overlook is that when you're looking at the greatest fighters of all time, you always have to look in the direction of a black fighter. Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Floyd Mayweather Jr., the list goes on. Thomas the Hitman Hearns, Joe Louis, you name it, man. Great fighters, Evander Holyfield.
Yeah.
People that have done it and established themselves. Mike Tyson, on a wide scale of what true fighting athleticism and hard work really is when it comes to the sport of boxing. So nothing and no one, despite the politics of boxing, despite what reporters are hired, despite the uprise of HBO putting foreign fighters on a pedestal, promoting the foreign fighters and dismissing the American black fighters as if this is the market to go into to financially be safe, and allowing your competition to sneak up, all right, years later, and to snatch every great fighter because they understand what the politics is and the different bullshit that they have to go along to get along with in order to have certain opportunities, such as a Timothy Bradley or Andre Ward in certain cases, for how they criticize Deontay Wilder. Okay, some of those folks are used to doing that bullshit from being on certain networks where it's completely biased from the time that they ring the bell or when the person is coming down to the ring. It's 1,000% biased. Okay, so because of that, like you say, HBO has suffered from watching Showtime Premier Boxing Championships, which they kind of went back and forth. Because when Showtime got Mike Tyson, there was more notoriety over there at Showtime to see Mike Tyson. But at one point in time, HBO did have Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao. And the way they thumbed their nose up at Floyd was, look, all Floyd wanted was to be able to promote his fighters on HBO and receive checks and stuff off of that and get a decent, substantial amount of money. And they laughed him off and told him, you know, screw off. We don't need you. We have Pacquiao, we have this, we have that. And now you look at them year to date, okay, and their last fight that they had on their network was in December, and they're done. They're strictly for, I guess, pay-per-view fights or whatever that's going to get them big money. They're not picking up anything else. You won't see any more midget boxing on their platform, okay? They're done. Because they chose to take a guy, Roman Gonzalez, Chocolate Tito, and call him #1 pound for pound, some midget fighter that nobody ever seen fight. They even had Floyd's bootlicking coon ass up there talking about some, #1 pound for pound is Roman Gonzalez. How? You're looking over Terrence Crawford and Andre Ward at this time. Are you that much of a hater? Yes, you are. Okay, but that was done to stiff these black fighters that busted their ass to fight the best and to consistently look good in the ring. That was to stiff those guys. Okay, and at the end, the only people eating crow is HBO because that same Roman Gonzalez gentleman that they shoved down people's throat and Triple G, both of these guys have gotten their ass whooped now. More than once. Have received a plethora of ass whoopings. And that company has withered away. You've lost all product and faith. It's laughable at this time and standard. And then there's a new level of boxing that is out here in order for people to enjoy, to grasp. And the majority of the faces of boxing that you see here today, when you look at these names of hard hitters and guys of honest competition and great competitive fighting, these faces are black on these networks when it comes to Fox or Showtime or what have you. They're black fighters, okay? With an exception to, of course, ESPN, which I would say, at least for that standard, looking at that, they do have Terrence Bud Crawford, which they will charge you top dollar to look at that dude, which they didn't for the last fight against Jose Benavidez, which I also did feel like it was kind of shady for him to just get to 147, and you want to charge people for ESPN Plus, knowing that a lot of folks are not going to pay to see a Jeff Horn versus Terrence Crawford fight, because to a casual, they really don't even know who those people are. But that's my point. I got to get ready to roll. It's 11:01.
Okay, thanks again, brother. I'll keep in contact with you. Thanks again.
No line. I said, no doubt, brother. Hey, no problem. And if you wanted for me to get back on and for us to discuss this again, and it's during the week, anytime early is good. Even if I'm at work or whatever, I can still go ahead and get on the live stream with you. Just hit me up, give me a heads up, so that way I can make sure I'm ready.
Okay, because usually early, sometimes early be hard for me too. But I got you on that, definitely. All right, okay.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
I say I appreciate that, man. It's always love, my brother.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. Peace.
All right. We gonna wait for some more people to come on CB Sports. If you want to get on the panel, let me know. I definitely want to read about just this great fighter, the late great Joe Gans. One of the he's the early lightweight champion. And when I read about him, before I continue, but when I read about him, like I said, when I was like 12 or 13, I was so blown away that what he has accomplished, and in trying times, he was not even a hall. He was not even in the Hall of Fame. He wasn't. He was not even in the Hall of Fame. And he died. Like I said, he died young. Um, be 35. Well, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull up the story. Then I'm gonna read it. See, shout out to Walter Santee. All reliable. Thanks for coming. We're gonna read about the late great world world class boxer Joe Gans. Joe Gans, born Joseph Gant, born November 25th, 1874. He passed away August 10th, 1910. Was an American professional boxer. Gant was rated greatest lightweight boxer of all time by Boxing Stalker and Ring Magazine founder Nat Fisher. Known as the Old Master, became the first African American world boxing champion of the 20th century, reigning continuously as world lightweight champion from 1902 to 1908. He was inducted into International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1990. Gant started boxing professionally in early 1891. Started out in the city of Baltimore. He gained many fans within the boxing world, both white and black alike, with his scientific approach to fighting. Unlike the more brutish and alternated few styles of fighting, more prevalent in the time, Gant fight methods involve learning an opponent's strength and weakness in order to compete with a game plan. A slender man never weighed over 137 pounds. Gant frequently fought heavier boxers. This adds to the legend of his scientific fight technique. He became known as a true student of the sport, earning him the nickname Old Master. On March 3rd, 1900, at the Broadway Athletic Club in New York, Gant quit with an eye injury in the 12th round of his first lightweight title against reigning lightweight champion Frank Ernie, with the fight ending with a KO. However, in their rematch 2 years later, Gant knocked Ernie out in one round to convincingly take the world lightweight title. Gant has thus become the first ever African American boxing champion, and also he had also became the first black title holder since Canadian-born George Dixon won the bantamweight world title in 1892, and the island-born Barbados Joe Walcott won the world welterweight title on December 18th, 1901. Gained reign as champion from 1902 to 1908. On January 6, 1902, Gant defeated the former welterweight champion Canadian-born Eddie Connolly. Connolly lost a 5 rounds bout at the Washington Sports Club in Philadelphia. One report noted that Connolly did nothing but hug and wrestle, added very to his performance in the third by deliberately trying to butt the Bohemian Gant. The reporter also noted that Conley clinched frequently and wrestled rather than box, probably attempt to protest himself from the fierce assault of Gans. By the time the referee ended the bout in the fifth, Conley has been rendered practically helpless by powerful punches of Gant. Gant also defended his lightweight world title against other talented boxers such as Steve Crosby and Gus Gardiner. There was also Charlie Siegler, Kid McParlin, Rolf Turner, Charles Elbow McFadden, and Frank Ernie. That's when he defeated in 1902. In a in an important title defense, he defeated durable Dane Oscar Baffin Nelson in 42 rounds on November 3rd, 1906, in Goldfield, Nevada. This blockbuster fight, arranged by legendary promoter Ted Richards, will eventually be honored with historical moment. Gain drew with future welterweight world title. Gain drew with future welterweight world championship claimant Mike Twin Sullivan on September 15, 1905, but he defeated Sullivan by knockout on January 19th and March 17th, 1906 in San Francisco and Los Angeles. Although recorded as a welterweight title match, the bout was supposed to have a weight limit set around 142 pounds, which was estimated to Sullivan weight in. Gant weight was an estimate to have to been 7 or 8 pounds lighter. Gant defeat the heavier Sullivan, a strong punch by reputation, showed his massively in the ring. In this welterweight bout, Gant's share of the gate was considerable of 2,425,220, and Sullivan was 1,616,080. Gant reportedly had another 1,700 on himself, which, if accurate, made his earnings on the fight quite considerable. Gant and Batting Nelson fought for the world lightweight title twice in Colma, California, first on July 4th and in September 9th of 1908. Gant would win the first but lose the latter knockout, also ending his long and impressive reign. Joe Gant died on August 10th, 1910, of tuberculosis. He was only 35 and had died not long after his final fight. He buried at Mount Auburn Cemetery in Baltimore. His monument is maintained by the International Boxing Commission and sits to the left of the main entrance of the cemetery. It reads, "I was born in the city of Baltimore, the year 1874, and it might be well to state as this time my right name is Joseph Gant, not Gant. However, I became an object of newspaper publicity. Some reporters made a mistake of my name appear as Joe Gant. As a Gant, it remains ever since." And that be, thanks for coming. DDG, thanks for coming. Gant has a final professional record of 145 wins with 100 knockouts, 10 losses, 16 draws, 6 no contests, and 19 no decisions. Newspaper decision 13, 2, and 4. 13 wins, 2 losses, 4 draws. He was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1990. A bronze statue of Joe Gant stands in the lobby of Masquerade Garden. Modern day boxers traditionally rub the statue outstretched left fist for good luck before matches. Gant legendary fight on September 3rd, 1906 with Bader and Nelson was commemorated with a memorial located at Goldfield, Nevada at the site of the fight. Gant was the first African American to win World Boxing Championship and the first win a lightweight boxing title. Gant achieved not only to set new records but gave African Americans hope. The early 20th century in time of the racial segregation champion Joe Gant somehow emerged victorious. Gant was rated the greatest lightweight boxer of all time by boxing historian and Ring magazine founder Nate Fraser. One boxing historian writes about Gant saying, through his rare accomplishment, Gant put into action what others could only theorize. The articulation of the black quest for social equality reached larger audience through the pulpits, and the most authoritative sermons were published in newspapers and religious quarterlies. Hemingway connection. Ernest Hemingway utilized Gant as a character in his 1960 short-lived story A Matter of Color. This early story set the stage for Hemingway's famous 1927 parallel, The Killers. So let me go back. So this is a Jew of boxing, and also there's books. Was on him longest fight, the reign of Joe Gans, boxing first African American champion. Strauss A. Burroughs Publishing. Number two, Ayaka Colleen, 2008, A Joe Gans, a biography of the first African American world boxing champion, Jefferson, North Carolina, McFarland Company. They wrote that. Then they have other links. Stuff like that. But there's some I do want to pull up, let the family know. So, when I'm doing that, what I will do, see, also, also about this fighter. He was a reigning champion. See. They wrote a lot of they had references. Um, they had a lot of links about him too. We'll pull up another boxer. One of my heroes again. And plus, just like Santee was saying, we made the sport. Just about every championship, every boxer in our community, we won. And we better understand that too. Yep. Trying to pull up something. Back bird boxing. Okay, hold on. Oh, said Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson. Best in boxing, it real reliable. I wouldn't say, but Muhammad Ali is one of the great. But Mike Tyson, I don't know. Probably put him like maybe top 20, maybe top 40. I don't know. But I'm gonna read you another fighter. So now this is this is one of my favorite fighters. Um, name is Thomas Hearns. Sugar Ray. He had an outstanding career. So he beat Sugar Ray Leonard. I mean, Sugar Ray Leonard beat him in 1981, 14 round knockout. But he fought on, And the second half of his career, along the way he unified weight classes. So I'm gonna read y'all about Thomas Hearns. Welcome, Annette B, beautiful one. Thanks for coming. Very much appreciated. Michael Johnson, welcome. Now I'm gonna read about Thomas Hearns. Thomas, nobody knows that Tommy Hearns, born October 18th, 1958, is an American former professional boxer who competed from 1977 to 2006. I mean, 19 years. Nicknamed the Motor City Cobra and more famously the Hitman. Hearns' tall and slender build allowed him to move up over 50 pounds in his career and became the first boxer in history to win world titles in four weight classes. I want y'all to hear this. Welterweight, light middleweight, middleweight, and light heavyweight. By latter winning a super middleweight title, he also became the first to win world titles in five weight divisions. Not even the great Sugar Ray Leonard could say this. Let me say it again. He went in four weight divisions: welterweight, light middleweight, middleweight, and light heavyweight. And along the way, super middleweight. That means he was unifying titles, family. Also, he won. Also, he fought in cruiserweight too. I don't know. I don't think he. I don't think he won in cruiserweight. I'm not sure, but I know he fought in cruiserweight too. His record was total fights 67 wins, 48 knockouts, only lost five, and one draw. One of the best records. And he's not being recognized that he should. Hearns was named the Fighter of the Year by the Ring Magazine and the Boxing Writers Association in America in 1980 and in 1984, the latter following his knockout of Roberto Duran. Hearn was known as a devastating puncher throughout his career, even as cruiserweight. Despite having climbed up five weight classes, he ranked number 18 of the Ring list of 100 greatest punchers of all time. He currently ranked 18 in Box re-rank of the greatest pound-for-pound boxers of all time. I think he should be high, you ask me. On June 10th, 2012, Hearn was inducted of International Hall of Fame. Born in Grand Junction, Tennessee, on October 18, 1958, Hearns was the youngest of three children and his mother's first marriage. With her second marriage, six children, joined the first three her own Miss Hearns raised Tommy and his siblings in Grand Junction until Tommy was 5 years old. Then the family moved to Detroit, Michigan. Hearns has a amateur record outstanding: 155 wins, only 8 defeats. Let me say it again. His amateur record was 155 and 8. That's impressive. In 1977, he won the National Amateur Athletic Union Light Welterweight Championship, defeating Bobby Joe Young in Steubenville, Illinois, in the finals. He also won the 1977 National Golden Gloves Lightweight Welterweight Championship. Hearns began his professional career in Detroit, Michigan, under the tutelage of the late great Emanuel Stewart in 1977. Stewart has changed Hearns from a light-hitting amateur boxer to one of the most devastating punchers in boxing history. He won six world he won 6 world titles in 5 weight classes during his pro career, defeating boxers Hall of Famers. He of the now I know this part. Filipino Corvez, he defeated him as if he was welterweight. Wilfred Benitez, Virgil Hill. Virgil Hill was light heavyweight. Roberto Duran, that I believe that was super middleweight that back in 1984. I'm just putting that in. Hearns started his career by knocking out his first 17 opponents. In 1980, Hearns carried his 20-0 record into a world title match against Mexican Filipino Cuevas. Hearns ended Cuevas' 4-year reign by beating him by a technical knockout in the second round. Hearns was voted Fighter of the Year by Ring Magazine in 1980. In 1981, Hearns, the WBA champion with a 32-0 with 30 knockouts, fought WBC champion Sugar Ray Leonard 30-1 to unify the world welterweight championship in a bout dubbed the Showdown. In this legendary fight, Hearns suffered his first professional defeat when Leonard stopped him in the 14th round, and the 13th round Leonard behind on points or on Judge Scorecard needed a knockout to win. He came on strong to put Hearns through the ropes at the end of the round. Hurt with days, totally out of gas, and received a count, but was saved by the bell. Leonard, with his left eye shut and time running out, resumed his attack in the 14th round. Hearns started around boxing and moving, but after staggering Hearns with an overhand right, Leonard pinned Hearns against the ropes after another combination to the body and head. Referee Davey Pearl stopped the fight. I remember I see the fight, and I ain't like it. Hearns and Leonard banked from a combined $17 million for the fight, making its largest purse in sports history. The following year, Hearns retired due to the detached retina, and will be no rematch until 1989. Light middleweight championship. Hearns moved up in weight and won the WBC super welterweight title. That's 154 pounds. Title from boxing legend and 3-time world champion Wilfred Benitez. His record was 44-1-1 in New Orleans in December 1982, and defending that title against European champion Luigi Michello, 42-1. Let me hold on. I don't know. Okay. Win 12. Roberto Duran TKO. That was split decision. Roberto Duran TKO 2. No content. Fred Hutchings 29-1. TKO him 3. And the number 1 contender Mark Meadow 26-2. KO him 8th round. During his reign at his weight, the second round destruction, and the legendary Roberto Duran, in which he became the first boxer to KO Duran.
is seen at his pinnacle achieved, earning him the second Ring Magazine Fight of the Year award in 1994. Um, Hagler and Hearns, while remaining super welterweight, light heavyweight, middleweight champion, Hearns ventured into the middleweight division to challenge undisputed middleweight champion Marvin Hagler in 1985, billed the fight they know as the Wall. This bout has often labeled as the three greatest rounds in boxing history. The legendary battle elevated both fighters to superstar status. Hearns was able to stun Hagler soon after the opening bell, but he subsequently broke his right hand in the first round. He did, however, manage to open a deep cut on Hagler's forehead that caused the ring doctor to consider stoppage. The fight, however, was allowed to continue to that point, with the ringside commentary remarks on the fact that the last thing Hagler wants or need is for this fight to stop on the cut. The battle did go back and forth some, but Hearns was unable to capitalize his early success against Hagler. As a result, breaking his right hand, Hearns began to use lateral movement and good jab to keep Hagler at bay as he could. This tactic worked fairly well, but the third round, Hagler staggered Hearns and managed to catch him against the ropes with a crushing right hand by Hagler, knocked Hearns down. Hearns beat the count, was clearly unable to continue, and the referee stopped the fight. Despite the loss, Hearns garnered a tremendous amount of respect from fans and boxers and officials alike. Considering the popularity of the fight and the level of competition, a rematch seems to be foregone conclusion, but never took place. Comeback. Hearns quickly made amends by dispatching undefeated rising star James Black Gold Shula by a devastating first round knockout in 1986. 1 week after the fight, Shula was killed in a motorcycle accident. Hearns presented the NABF championship belt to Shula's family. At his funeral, he said he deserved to keep the belt as he had held it for longer than Hearns. I want to know what happened to that belt, that strap. In March 1987, Hearns scored six knockdowns of Dennis Actries to win the WBC light heavyweight title with a 10-round stoppage of Cobo Hall, Detroit, Michigan. Later that year, his first round destruction of Juan Rodin, 63-2, to claim the vacant WBC middleweight title that made Hearns a four-weight world championship at that time. In the huge upset, Hearns lost his WBC middleweight title to Iran Barkley via the third round TKO in June 1988 in a bout Ring Magazine named a 1988 upset of the year. In November that year, Hearns returned to win another world title, defeating James Kitchen 44-3 by major decision to win the inaugural WBO super middleweight title. So that means that Hearns was the first one that won the WBO super middleweight title. Hearns became the first boxer to win a world title in 5 weight classes. Rematch with Leonard. Hearns had to wait until 1989 for a rematch with Sugar Ray Leonard. This time, Leonard WBC super middleweight title and Hearns WBO title. This was Hearns' 6th super fight, a fight which much of the public believe Hearns won, floored Leonard both 3rd and 11th rounds. However, the judges scored the fight a controversial draw. Yes, Hearns did win that fight. I remember seeing that fight too. Hearns had won the one last great performance in 1991 as he challenged the undefeated WBA lightweight champion Virgil Hill. And in Hill's 11th defense of the title, Hearns returned to his amateur roots and outboxed champion to win the convincing decision and added a sixth world title of his illustrious career. On March 20, 1992, Hearns lost the title on a split decision to old foe Aaron Barkley, but continued to compete and won his next 8 bouts. On June 23rd, 1997, Hearns appeared on a WWE telecast performance in a storyline where he taught and challenged by professional wrestler Rick the Hitman Hart, who claimed that Hearns stole the Hitman name. Hearns ended up attacking Jim Neidhart and knocked him down with a series of punches before officials entered the ring and broke up the confrontation. On 10th April 1999, Hearns traveled to England to beat Nate Miller by unanimous decision, a cruiserweight bout. In his next fight in April 2000, he faced Uriah Grant. First round was competitive, where Hearns appeared hurt by a solid right to the jaw. Both fighters traded blows in the second round until Hearns appeared to injure his right ankle, who was forced to retire injured and at the end of the round. Crowd booed. Hearns took the microphone and promised his fans he would be back. Hearns fought twice more, winning both fights by TKO. His final fight was on February 2006 against Shannon Lambert. Hearns' family is a fixture of Detroit sports scene. His mother, Lois Hearns, is a fight promoter. The company Hearns Entertainment has promoted many cards, including Mike Tyson, Andrew Goliath bout in 2000. His son, Ronald Hearns, also a boxer. He fought on the undercard of his father's last couple fights. Hearns lives in Southfield, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit. Hearns served as a reserve police officer with the Detroit Police Department. Due to his personal finance issues, Hearns was forced to auction his possessions at the auction of Detroit, Michigan on April 3rd, 2010. Damn, that's sad. Artist was inducted was a 1957 Chevrolet 47 Fountain boat and the slew of collectors memorable. His debt to the OIS was $250,000. He took responsibility for repaying the entire debt, which he had accrued for being overgenerous towards his large extended family. 67 fights, 61 wins by knockout, 5 losses. By decision, 13, 1 loss. Draws 1. So it goes to show that I read about Joe Gans. Then I gave you a bonus of the late great Thomas Hitman Hearns. He fought from welterweight all the way up to cruiserweight, and I believe that if he would not got hurt at cruiserweight, he probably would have won a cruiserweight title too. So, Kenneth Nash, peace to you.
Thanks for coming. So it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. So let me see. Maybe I could read about another fighter. You know, well that they both by here with Joe Gant and and I mean I'm sorry, the late great Joe Gant, and and the great Thomas Hitman Hearns. Then I'm gonna do another one tomorrow, family. So watch out for that. Might be a special, might be a special guest too. You know what? I'm gonna read about Kevin Kelly, New York, from New York. Another one, one, one of my favorites. Give me your juice, y'all. Give me your juice. That's another one. Kevin Kelly, the boxer. Kevin Philip Kelly, born June 29, 1967, is an American former professional boxer who competed from 1988 to 2009 and held WBC featherweight title from 1993 to 1995. Remember the Flush and Flash, that's in Queens, New York, area of Queens, New York. He fought featherweight, super featherweight, nationally American, of course. He was born in Brooklyn, New York. Um, before Southpaw, boxing record total fight 72. Wins, he got 60 wins. Lost 10, draw 2, 39 by knockout. Pretty good. Um, Amateur career, Kelly won 2 New York Golden Gloves championship as well as 1985, 119 Sub Novus Championship and the 1986 119 Open Championship. In 1988, Kelly advanced to the finals of the 125 Open Division, was to have met Fel Liberatore in the finals. Kelly was injured and could not fight. Liberatore was declared champion by default injury. In the Olympics, box office, he lost to Carl Daniels. His record was 62-5. That's definitely pretty good. Professional career, WBC Featherweight Championship, known as the Flush
Flushing Flash. Kelly held the WBC featherweight title and defended until he lost TKO to Mexican Andre Martin Gonzalez after Kelly failed to come out in the last round due to both eyes swollen shut. Um, Kelly won the title by defeating Giorgio Vargas by unanimous decision in 1993. Kelly was then signed to an HBO contract and remained a title contender for the next decade. More known for being in big fights rather than getting big victories, Kelly resumed include TKO loss to boxing legend Prince Nassim Hamed. I remember I seen that fight. And Marco Antonio Barria and Aaron Rodgers both came during career, which came during Kelly's career declined. Lost to Hamed, Kelly defeat including loss to Nassim Hamed in 1997, Hamed flew to the United States to fight there for the first time. His ceremonious arrival on the British Airways Concorde was covered by multiple media outlets. There he formed, then he, excuse me, there he and former two-time WBC featherweight champion of the world Kevin Kelly fought in Ring Magazine Fight of the Year at the Madison Square Garden in New York. Despite being dropped three times in South, Hamed put Kelly down for the third and final time to win by a fourth round knockout. This was first of many fights on. This was the first. This was his first of many fights on HBO. The fight was ranked 100 in Channel Fourth 100 Greatest Sporting Moments in 2002. Kelly knocked out former WBA champion Derrick Gainer in 1996, a loss which Gainer later avenged in a unanimous decision in 1998. Lost to Bobby Pickra. Kelly was then outlasted and KO'd by Bobby Pickra. On September 28, 2006, Kelly met Carlos Hernandez in the ring. In an upset victory, Kelly put his best performance in years, dropping Hernandez in the fourth round to an unanimous decision victory. Hernandez announced his retirement right after this fight. Kelly was the David Diaz mandatory for the WBC Inter Lightweight Championship, but most of his recent bouts was a close decision and former titleist Manuel Medina. His current record was 60 wins, 10 losses, 2 draws. He had 39 wins by knockout. Okay. Life after boxing. When fighting, Kelly was also moonlighting as a color commentary, most notable for HBO. Kelly was leading on HBO's short-lived live KO Nation Nation television show. The show served as a hip-hop based boxing broadcast and was hosted by Ed Lover. Kelly now lives in Las Vegas, Nevada, and works as a timeshare salesman for the Granville at Las Vegas. Wow. Well. So it gave me Joe Gans, Thomas Hitman Hearns, and Kevin Kelly, known as the Flushing Flash. And I hope y'all all enjoy it and everything. I'm glad you come out. Very much appreciated.
The late great Jack Johnson. I'm gonna tell you. Um, do you know that the late great Jack Johnson, the boxer? I know. Will give you something. Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight boxing champion, patented a wrench on April 18th, 1922. His patent was not the first for a wrench. Solomon Merrick of Springfield, Massachusetts, patented the first wrench in 1935. In 1835, so he was part of the patent of the second wrench. 1922, Solomon Merrick of Springfield, Massachusetts, patented the first wrench. 18 Solomon Merrick of Springfield, Massachusetts, patented the first wrench in 1835. Um, Jack Johnson patented his 1922. So I'm gonna say a few things and I'm gonna close it out. Um, I'm glad you came. Glad you get the lights up. I appreciate that. Um, we have to understand that black fighters, when they fought back in the 1800s and early 1900s, they wasn't given a shot, so they had to fight themselves. And because they weren't given a shot, we miss the greatest symbol of black fighters. It makes me think about how it was in the past. Yeah, great fighters, man. Oh my God, it was great fighters back then. They even some they came through the cracks too. That thank you on Captain Levi 6KD. I ain't see you in a while. Salute to you, brother. Salute to you. Um, Shout out to the LDBC. And like I was saying that, the black fighters back then they had to fight for survival. And that's why I respect so much of Joe Gant. Joe Gant. And the fighters even fight the fighters had fought, like I said, in the 1800s into 1900s. And they wasn't getting no title shot. And then they opened the doors. It's okay. It's okay. You always catch and rewind back. But like I said, and then they opened live doors for other black fighters to become champions. Like Sandy Sadler, Henry Armstrong, Joe Louis, Georgie Joe Walcott, Exeter Charles, the Mongols, the late great Archie Moore. Archie Moore had to fight almost. He had to wait for his time almost 20 years to get a title shot. I believe he was in his late 30s, on his 40s, something like that. And he fought light heavyweight champions, the Mongols. Can't forget about Sugar Ray Robinson, one they said best pound for pound ever. Floyd Patterson. A lot of people don't they forget about Floyd Patterson. He won the heavyweight crown. He held for a while. Put some respect on Floyd Patterson. And it was quite a few of these fighters open the door of the other fighters. And we need to salute these brothers. The things to pay the way to let the rest of the world know that we could fight, we could think, we boxers, we thinkers. We show ring generalship. We not a raw shoulders. We not a raw with our punches. We not to set traps. Because we made the sport the black fighter. And I want to salute the early ones that paved the way. So the other nationalities, we get the benefit too of boxers. Yeah, facts. Facts, Captain. Yeah, facts. And so we have to understand that. It was trying times back then. The gate was very, very slim for a black fighter. And when sometimes that when I be hearing like some boxing talk, that needs to be talked about. And I ain't talking about the ones that the famous ones, black fighters. Yeah, we talk about them, but the ones who paid the way, we need to talk about them more. And I will do that. So I'm just going to let's check out a few things. Um, see something. Um, I just salute them. I just salute them. So let me see something. Let me see something. So I gave y'all the late great Joe Gant. Joe Gantz, first African American lightweight champion. I believe the first one ever. Um, they gave you Thomas Hearns. Oh, I'm sorry, the late great Joe Gantz.
very underrated or legendary of boxing history of our community. The great Thomas Hitman Hearns. Then I read about the Flushing Flash. Kevin Kelly, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, but later on he moved to Queens. That's because that's one of the areas named Queens named Flushing. So that's what he got it from. So let's see some family. So it's mean a lot to me, and I hope you come back. Um, but today I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna do another one. Want you to watch out for that. But hold on, Joe Louis was my favorite boxer. A lot of women want him to see him lose and go jail. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. Very true, Cap. Very true, Cap. And well, thanks for coming in. Whoever coming, that came in late. Catch it on the rewind. Catch it on the rewinds. I want to know, family, thank you so much to join the Underrated Boxing Talk. I will be doing more of this, so stay tuned for that. And on that note, have a good morning, Ghost.